What did you eat for dinner last night? Was it a nice steak? Or maybe some chicken? Whatever it was, most chances are that the majority of you ate meat. In our society, meat is simply a delicious option for our meals and has never been much of a problem. But recently, we have started to discover the immense impacts of meat on our environment, natural resources, and health. Meat consumption is simply consuming anything that is part of an animal. Although the idea seems very basic, the consequences are very grave. The production and consumption of meat is an immense contributor to climate change. The production of meat releases many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This increased amount of greenhouse gases contributes to the greenhouse effect, thus helps trap heat in the atmosphere and increase the Earth's temperature. Since Earth's population has been increasing dramatically, more meat is required and thus more meat is produced. This causes even more greenhouse gases to be released. To put in numbers, animal agriculture is responsible for 51% of greenhouse gas emissions, producing 32,000 million tons of CO2. However, not all meats have the same effect on our world. Red meat has a much larger impact compared to white meat. To specify the type of meat, beef has the largest impact on North America, no matter what type of impact you look at. Discussing with Gideon Ishel, a professor at Bard College in New York State, he explained that
only a minute fraction of the food consumed by cattle goes into the bloodstream, so the bulk of the energy is lost.
This is why cows cause much more drastic effects. Although beef has the worst impacts, it is one of the most consumed meats in North America. Beef used to be the most consumed meat for more than a century until 2013 when chicken barely surpassed beef. Although we now consume more chicken than beef, we still consume very high amounts of beef, which calls for more production and thus more impacts. Talking of impacts, beef has many adverse impacts on our world. Cows use the most amount of water compared to any other animal. To produce 1 pound of feedlot beef, it takes anywhere between 1,600 and 2,500 gallons of water. Compared to pork or chicken, it uses about 11 times more, making it very water inefficient. It takes 35 pounds of topsoil, approximately 160 times more land than staple food items such as potatoes, wheat, and rice. Cows produce the most waste compared to any animal. A 1,100 pound cow can produce 14.6 tons of manure annually, which is the weight of 10 cars. Not only does beef harm the environment, it harms each of our bodies. Beef is high in saturated fat, thus increasing your risk of cardiovascular diseases and diabetes. And when comparing carbon emissions, by not eating beef, your carbon footprint decreases a lot. Choosing a different meat lowers carbon emissions by a quarter. However, there is a way you can help. By reducing how much beef you consume, you can make a big difference. By visiting our website, beefwatchers.org, you can track how much beef you consume and how you are helping to reduce the use of our natural resources, environment, and even impacting your own health. Beefwatchers.org allows you to create accounts and compete with friends and family to see how much of a difference you make every time you skip beef in a meal. After creating an account, you will have a wide variety of recipes to access, including alternatives for beef so that you can easily transition to cutting beef out of your meals. Once you use a recipe from our website, you can click Complete to track your progress. You will also be able to view the beef-free recipes you've used by looking at your history. Our website will help prove to you how your small decision is leading us one step closer to a cleaner world and show how much of a contribution you can make by simply replacing beef with other
Created using Powtoon.